The Artificer returns to Dungeons & Dragons, but are the proposed changes enough to satisfy fans of the neglected 13th class?
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
In something of a surprise, Wizards of the Coast has released a new Unearthed Arcana playtest for the Artificer, updating the class and its 4 subclasses to bring them in line with the 2024 rules revisions. We'll dig into the revised Artificer here in a moment, but be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons first to help support a brand new independent tabletop and fantasy news channel. First, some context about the Artificer. Originally, the Artificer was released way back in 2018 as part of the Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron, a source book covering the Eberron campaign setting. It received some updates in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which brought the class into use for any and all D&D campaign settings, although let's be real, people were already doing that before Tasha's came out. However, while all the other D&D classes have had numerous subclass options added over the year, the Artificer has only received 1 new subclass over the past 6 years, leading many to consider the class undercooked and underappreciated compared to things like the Wizard or the Fighter. Those accusations didn't stop when Wizards released a new player's handbook this year without any mention of the Artificer. Now, designers did say that updates to the Artificer were coming, but they didn't provide any kind of timeline. We'll also note that the 2025 book slate, which has already been announced, there's not really a good fit for the Artificer, although I guess it's possible that it could always appear in the Forgotten Realms player guide, which was expected to include stuff like the Bladesinger and other popular subclasses from the 2014 version of D&D. As for the changes themselves, you can see where the class has received some updates to bring it in line with other 2024 class revisions. But there's more magic items to choose from, and there's better guidance on what you can choose from. Spell storing items are made a bit more useful. They now go up to level 3 instead of level 2. Flash of Genius is better worded to allow you to know if a check or save has succeeded or failed before using that feature. Also, all of the subclasses can now craft items tied to those subclasses a bit faster as well. As for the subclasses themselves, they've all received relatively minor updates. The Alchemist gets more potions, and drinking those potions are bonus actions now, which is in line with the 2024 rules revision. The Armorer has a pretty cool new option called the Dreadnought that deals more damage and increases your size. We actually really like that a bit. The Eldritch Cannon for Artillerists are a lot more versatile, as they can switch options each turn instead of being fixed on one option for an entire combat. The Battlesmith also got some minor updates to its Steel Defender, but really it didn't get changed much at all. All in all, these are pretty modest changes instead of a sweeping redo. Our biggest issue with the rework is that a few of the subclasses, and I'm looking at you, Alchemist, really feel like they should be their own thing instead of a subclass that feels tacked on to a jack-of-all-trades class. The Alchemist really needs a massive rework, as that subclass should be an iconic fantasy trope, kind of like the Alchemist in Pathfinder. But instead, it's kind of a shoddy potion maker that can be better implemented with several other classes. Now, let's see what my partner in crime, Hannah, thinks about all these changes.
The Artificer still sucks.
Thanks for that, Hannah. The most interesting part of this UA is that it was released right before year end, which means that a 2025 release for the Artificer is still possible. Now, honestly, looking at the book slate and not seeing a really good fit for the Artificer, I kind of wonder if the Artificer will get a digital first release on D&D Beyond prior to a physical release in 2026. Let's face it, D&D Beyond is becoming ever more popular with Hasbro, and it's becoming the place where, they want new content to go, and what better new content than the lost 13th class for Dungeons & Dragons. Anyways, that's just speculation on our part. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens to the Artificer next. Anyways, let us know what you think about the changes to the Artificer in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Above the Table.